As you know, Kevin McCarthy was elected last night, technically this morning, early DC time, as the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. And shortly after his election, he started making good on his promises in speeches like the one I'm just about to show you.
I know the night is late, but when we come back, our very first bill will repeal the funding for 87,000 new IRS.
Now, Kevin McCarthy is making this promise in earnest. He really wants to cut that funding. But here's what he's not telling you. Number one, the 87,000 number refers to employees and not agents. Number two, that number will be phased in over the next decade by 2031. And number three, the vast majority of that 87,000 number is required to fill in the void that will be created by 50% of IRS employees that will retire over the next 5 years. Now, why do I continue talking about employees rather than agents? Because the reality is that the vast majority of the new 87,000 employees that will be hired over the next 10 years are not agents. They're not people that conduct audits. They're not people that enforce tax laws. They're people like people that work in IT services to make sure that new online services are included, that the website doesn't crash, and so on. And then things like customer service and taxpayer services to help you during tax season so you're not standing in phone line for 25 minutes. Now, in addition to it, when it's all said and done, these new 87,000 employees will net out a growth for the IRS staff by only about 20,000 employees. And even that number of growth shouldn't be considered suspicious because currently the IRS has 78,000 employees, but it traditionally, historically has had 100,000. So the 20,000 new additional employees that the 87,000 will net out will only bring the IRS to historical levels for its employment size. Now let's talk about the agents. Yes, there will be some new additional agents, but why only a small portion is needed? It's because the tax plan or the employment plan is very clear. They're going after large corporation. Read here, large political donors. And large corporation audits over the last few years fell by 50%. So that's why I focus on that promise, and I think it's made in earnest. It's because it wasn't meant for you. It was a message that it was sending to large corporation, i.e. large political donors, reassuring that it's going to be people like you for the next 2 years who will continue to have to pay the bills for everyone else.